Hey, I'm Ash from Little Studio. Thanks for checking out our planner website. I am an artist and a teacher, and I love organization, but I've never really found a planner that's just right for me. So instead of being frustrated, I decided to make one, and then I wanted to share it with you guys. So please, thanks for coming, and I'd love to share it with you now. This is my teacher academic planner. The first thing that I love about it is that it's got all of my patterning in it. I love patterns and I love design, and I wanted to share that with you guys. So I use every single page border to border for you guys to be able to plan and write in. So these spaces like this that are like a bullet journal, there's light, pattern, and design on there, but it's not just a blank page. Use it how you want. But immediately, there's none of that fluff. It opens immediately to the entire year from August to July. And we look at it in quarters. And I've made the weekends skinny so you as a teacher can really put in what are the things that are most important to you. Your testing dates, your assessment dates, you can look at the entire year all on one page layout. But that's not it. It goes directly from there to a little bit more spread out view of each quarter. So you can put a little bit more information in there. Maybe you want to lay out your standards that you're working on, or maybe you want to put in your state testing or assessments that you're working on. So you can see all 4 quarters, easy to go through, and then we start the year. So I love planning in July. So even if you don't start school until September or August, I love having July in there. And before each month, I have this layout. So before we get into the month, I have a section for you to plan your goals. What are your big goals for this month? And here are different steps that you can take to reach those goals. Wellness is important too. So I've put a little wellness tracker in here for you to be able to check off weekly the goals that you are tracking for yourself to keep your brain and your body healthy. And then these 2 sections here are for you to plan your assessments. You can put your formative assessments and standards that you're working on here. What are the summative assessments and projects you're working on? Different ways that you can accelerate your learners, and like what are you going to do to your with your learners that are meeting your standards and you want to accelerate them, and then what are the ones that you want to activate and really push up those learners that need a little bit of pushing to be able to reach the standards that you're teaching. And so these are where you put those activities. But then what else is going on in your brain? And I've made the space for the calendar month as big as it can possibly be. I've used border to border, edge to edge, all the paper. There's spaces for you to write and put bullet journals or bullet lists and checkoff sheets, additional lined paper. But then when we move on, I've made it to where every single week you can, whether you have block scheduling or period scheduling, there's plenty of space each day for you to write what's going on. And if you have more than one prep, it's so wide that you can put a dotted line through, or you can line line these and break it up in any kind of way that you want. I've got water trackers. I've got a week at a glance so that you can put in your personal things on the side, or school activities that don't impact your day, but you want to see what's going on, or meetings that you have. And then all important, that little checkoff list. I love checking things off. And so this is every single month. There's a different design for the month. There are different color themes for each month so that you can go through and color the different sections if you want to, or add your own patterns or add your own stickers if you'd like. Also, I've included the full moons, very important as a teacher. But then at the very, very back, so I go through, one of the things that bugs me too is that the planners don't typically go July to July. And that's the way I like mine to run. My year doesn't start until August, but I start planning in July. So the very first month of the year is July. And then if you go all the way to the back, we go all the way to July till next year. So the last month in here is July next year. And so that you can continue to plan your year for 13 months. And then at the very, very back of the planner, are spaces for your projects and your big ideas, your long-term projects. And there's 8 pages of these where you can, in different ways, different layouts, put down your goals or your long-term projects and maybe list out the ideas or things you need to do to accomplish those. And that's my teacher planner. I love the teacher planner, but I have kids. And mine they're not super young right now. I have one starting middle school and one in elementary school, but there's not a planner that exists for them. And at what point are they supposed to figure out or learn how to do that? So instead of being frustrated with what's out there because it really doesn't fit them developmentally, cognitively, it's not suited for them. And then it really took a lot of work for me to even show them and make the ones that are out there fit them. I decided to stop being frustrated and I made one for them too. So this is my upper elementary kid planner. And my favorite thing about this is that it's not just work. It's a lot of fun too. So when you open it up, it's going to show the student learner how to use this planner and what every single section is for of the planner. It's going to talk to them about what to use the week at a glance for. They can put their sporting games on there. They can put things like somebody's birthday on there, pep rallies, big things happening at their school. It teaches them how to use a checkoff list. It teaches them how to do a wellness tracker. It teaches them how to use the different sections for the stuff that they're doing in class, how to think back and reflect on your day and write down a highlight, find things that are good, and talk about how you were feeling about the day. But before we move on to the next month, there's going to be a section for you to reflect. Reflect on your day, reflect on your month. What were your challenges? What were the high points and low points? And write sentences about that. And then draw pictures for that. And then it shows them how to make goals and what short-term and long-term goals are and what good ideas are and what maybe it's not a good idea that one of your goals this month is to become an astronaut, because there's no way for us to be able to do that this month. And it walks them through how to make a goal and how to create steps to complete that goal. So once we get into the month, kids don't need a huge layout for the month, but they do need to learn how the month works and what's supposed to be on the month. And we have directions for what to do here. But then on the other side of the layout, instead of spreading the month across, there are word searches for them. There's a dot game, and in the very first month I show them how to play the dot game. And there's oftentimes coloring pages and different activities for them to do inside of each one of those month-long things. My other favorite part about this is that an entire year for a kid, this is really big and overwhelming and heavy. Sometimes you get distracted. Sometimes you mess up on a month and you feel like you can't complete it. You can't complete your workbook. So what I've done with the kid planner is we've separated the entire year into 2 books. So when you place your order, you're not getting 1 book. You're getting 2 books for the kid planner. And the first book goes from July to December. And so it starts in July of this year and it'll go all the way down until December. And it takes them through the end of December. And then the second book, they get to feel like they start all over in January of 2026, and they get a second book. So you'll get 2 books when you order this. You'll receive them at the same time. But it's the same thing. It's the same book. It's just January 2026 through June 2026. So I'm really excited to share this with you. I know that my daughters are both very excited to use their kid planner, so I can't wait for them to get into this and learn how to use it and really get successful at organizing themselves for school. So thanks for checking this out.